Clear, I have declared my intentions to retain the seat of the Vice Chairman, National Vice Chairman of the National Resistance Movement in charge of Eastern Uganda. And the stage we are going into is a very crucial one. It may necessitate a transition or managing a transition, depending on what SEC determines. It's therefore important for us to say that you need minds that are experienced in governance. You need minds that are experienced in the issues of political governance of the country. And that's why you need to understand that SEC is the political compass of the national resistance movement. A political compass entails people who think, who direct, who have got experience. And there's no doubt that I, as Captain Mukula, has got experience as Vice Chairman. What our intention is to consolidate the gains that we've made. And I want to tell you that all the manifesto that we're implementing now as a party was midwifed, generated by Central Executive Committee. And you can see things like parish development model, 1.1 trillion. We thought that we need to bring population into the money economy. And that is very, very important so that we fight poverty. You have also got things like Emioga, which is urban. You have also got things like women entrepreneurship. The key thing I'm trying to drive here, the narrative I'm trying to generate, is that poverty is the biggest challenge we face in the country. We have also got youth unemployment. The youth unemployment is very critical for the country because the 80% of the population is below the age of 30 years. So we must think for the generation, we must ensure that we create a transformation approach to make them have a better living for the country. The challenges the party has faced and the country in the governance structure has been mainly insecurity. As you know, 50% of the country was paralyzed, meaning that we have had instability right from West Nile. The Karamojong, for example, Karamoja had over 80,000 guns. Government has been able to disarm and neutralize the Karachuna there. So there is peace and stability in Karamoja. I can now say that despite all the challenges that the country has faced in the last over 35 years, and as I talk now, our boots are in the DRC Congo fighting ADF, and to a large extent we have succeeded. What am I saying therefore is that the country now is peaceful from the north to the south, east to the west, and now we're exporting peace to the neighboring countries like Somalia. We also have our boots in South Sudan to guarantee the stability of South Sudan. We're in the DRC Congo to guarantee the stability of the region. All this you can see are gains of a stable leadership under General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Our initiative in the region has been, especially the east, if I'm to start with the Karamoja, if I'm to start with Sebei, we have now connectivity from the time we've been in place. We now have the road from Kapchora to Swam has been tarmacked. Electricity from Kapchora to Swam to the border with Kenya is now connected. You can now, which members of parliament that access used to go through Malaba to access Swam, but going through Kitale. But I'm happy to say that it takes you 45 minutes from Kapchora to the border with the Kenya at the Swam. I also want to say that going forward, the infrastructure has been developed. We have a road from Tirinyi, Palisa to Kumi, and there is initiative to now construct the road between Kumi all the way through Ngora to Serere and Kagwara. The road between Katine to via Kalaki, Tabermaido, Ochero to Kampala is going to be built, it's going to be constructed, The contracts are already in advanced stages. Money has been found and is available. The critical point that we have now, as you know, is to address like the area I'm now in Bugisu. Bugisu, we need to have the university, a public university, and if possible, we have one at Elgon Technical. That to me would now transform the region because the infrastructure is already there. We can now have Bugisu University of Science and Technology. To me, that is very important. Secondly, we also need, and that's what I'm going to advocate for, is the establishment of a value addition factory or plant for coffee Arabica, so that we don't export coffee beans of Arabica out of the country. I think we can work with the Bugisu Cooperative Union to build an advanced coffee factory like the one in Ntungamo or even better, and I think that will add more employment to the region. The third point is the stadium. I think there is need for Bugisu, especially that we have a very strong team like Mbale Boys. If we have a stadium which is adequate and effective, we can now be able to say that we can develop this region and make Mbale City the center of gravity for the whole of Eastern Uganda. What am I saying therefore? These are the primary things we need. We now have the industrial base, one of the largest in the country, as we are entering Mbale from the road to Kampala. You can see in the evening how many young people are employed there. That shows you that we may need another industrial base to build more industries in order to create jobs. That I'm going to work towards. I think that all said and done, we need to work together as a team. That's the bottom line. The region is now got, during the time, if you remember in 2020, the president did not campaign, but I went around the region with a helicopter, you know that very well, into many parts of the eastern part of the country. But we're able to really galvanize the votes, meaning that I was able to get 97 members of parliament for NRM, 97. 25 independent NRM-leaning members of parliament. That shows you that we did a lot of work. NUP, with all its surge, only got 2 members of parliament. Ono Nambeshe here in Bugisu and the one in Jinja. Jema got 1 in Bugiri. He was lucky to pass. And then we also had FDC, who got 11 votes, 2 independent leaning FDC members of parliament. You now need a strong mobilizer. That's why I want to tell the people. If you don't have a strong mobilizer, you bring people who are learning on the job and don't have the capacity. I want to assure you that now that you have people like my brother Nandala standing as a member, as a presidential candidate, obviously the contention is going to be Bugisu and the East, who can match Nandala, Mukula, in order to make sure that you dilute his efforts to galvanize the votes for FDC. Who can match Bobby Wine in this axis? Mukula. And that's why I want to tell you that this effort can be done collectively. We must work with the newly elected members of the chairman, the members of parliament, in order to ensure that 2026, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni comes in with a much bigger vote so that we can retain more jobs in this axis. To me, that is my roadmap.
Okay, Ndugu Captain, maybe just briefly. Recently you wrote a letter to the party chairman expressing your view on what you think possibly you should do in terms of addressing the gaps that are there and the cries that we are hearing from these district NRM leaders. With all these challenges, don't you think that this will affect you? What's your next plan in case the party chairman does not act in terms of...
No, I think the chairpersons were asking for a pledge which was made by the president and the chairman of the party. And he pledged to them pickup or pickups. He also pledged to them 20 million shillings because of that time during the campaign. He also pledged to them, I think, a few cows. These were individual pledges made by the chairman and the president of Uganda. who is in State House. They should not give me to carry a cross where the owner of that pledge is still around. Mine is, as you saw, was to continue. I have done that continuously in SEC. I have written. What else do they want me to do? To me, I've done my job to advocate, to make sure that they get what the president pledged to them. And I want to assure you that there seems to be something cooking. They should, actually, Babaga, they should remain calm.
Give us an update on NRM primaries.
The primaries are going on very well so far. A few very competitive. And I would like to thank those who have progressed very well. I think the city will have the next election on Monday. And then we have the next election on the 26th, which is a Friday, if I'm not wrong. So far, it shows you that NRM, which has got the over 72,000 sales, LC1, in the country, is the biggest party. And for the first time, we have had what you call an electronic electoral process. All these votes have not had major crisis, the campaigns, as compared to the past, where people burned offices, people even lost their lives. But this time, it has been reasonably peaceful. You can never have a clean election, but you can have what you call a free and fair, reasonable election. To me, this is the global trend in the whole world. And even in the United States, you remember the current president, Donald Trump, said that he was rigged. So if America, one of the oldest democracies in the world, over 250 years, what about NRM, which has introduced it in 40 years? To me, I think we're making tremendous progress. And to me, the internal democratic processes of our party has been able to exhibit political hygiene. The political hygiene which is being dispensed now is a show of political maturity, and we're pathing the way to develop what you call a strong democratic party. And I want to assure you, no party can stand against the national resistance movement. 2026.
Lastly, your position. Okay, fine. My last question. Your position of a vice chairperson has attracted other competitors. You finished?
Okay. Maybe for me, the party is like whoever's going to lose in the primaries should not come back as independent. What's your take on it as a vice chairman?
It's the best thing to do, because if you are defeated in a free and fair election, not a perfect election, free and fair, and you have seen that we are lining up in the primaries of the party, and when it comes to the ballot, the private ballot paper where you drop through the box under the Uganda Independent Electoral Commission, really sincerely, what would be one's problem going independent? Why? Because the same people who are going to determine your destiny. My view and strong recommendation to colleagues is that once you are defeated at the grassroots level, especially the primaries of the national resistance movement, embrace your colleagues. Because you're all players of the same team. It's like Arsenal fighting with Arsenal. When you're all members of Arsenal or Man U, you're all the same team players. Don't fight each other. This is not a matter of do and die. It is not the end of life. Start and do something else, but support the party.
Captain, we have seen high-profile leaders like members of parliament, ministers, not going through in elections at a level of a parish or sub-county structures. What does this mean to you as a senior leader in NRM?
I think the voice of the people is the voice of democracy, it's the voice of God. And once the people speak, God has spoken. And in the Constitution, Article 1 says power belongs to the people. And they will exercise that democratic right every 5 years in a free and fair elections, and they will elect the people they feel are appropriate. To me, why would I have an argument with the voice of the people? That is democracy.
Thank you.
Honorable, there is a serious issue in Butareja. I remember when you are making rounds during the campaigns, you promised the people of Butareja, and I have you on record, that come, when they vote for the president and they vote for Mtembuli, their road is going to be made. As I talk now, people of Butaleja have started mobilizing that there will be no vote for NRM if that road is not made. What is your take on that?
I agree with the people, and I've written again, maybe I'll send you a copy. I've written 5 reminders to His Excellency the President. I've written, I met General Katumba even last week to say that the road from on the Tiringi Road, entering all the way up to Navmali, should be tarmac, because my people are tired of eating or breathing dust. My view is that government is in advanced stages of fomenting financing. But as you do recall, at a stage when government was about to secure funding from World Bank and IMF to fund this road, NUP went to the Americans, and Joe Biden, when he was then the president, suspended support from World Bank and IMF. I mean, you understand that you're a journalist, you read. Now, if you go as a political party and campaign your country, then the same people come back again to Butaleja to say, you voters were the ones who will give it to you. But the same people who went to IMF and World Bank and to Joe Biden because of homosexuality, Uganda's aid or support from World Bank was suspended because of homosexuality bill, which became an act. I think it was an abomination for Ugandans who are culturally right, who have got the respect of their own internal dignity, to say that we can look for money elsewhere. But if World Bank is not coming for us, we're not going to surrender our children to homosexuality because of a road that was supposed to be built. What I'm saying is that we're looking for money, and President Museveni is working day and night, but to maintain integrity, not to allow our children to be homosexuals. These are some of the things, the prices we have to pay. But I want to assure the people of Butaleja and Nagongera, Butaleja-Nagongera Road, that also is part of the plan. It is not just one road. There are 2 roads that are promised in the manifesto, and I want to assure the people of Butaleja, better late than never, we shall get that road.
Okay.